Welcome back to the channel, dear friends. It's a deep joy to be here with you once again, gathered in a space where honesty, spiritual inquiry, and timeless wisdom come together. Whether you've been following this series since the beginning or you're just arriving for the first time, you are truly welcome. Today, as we arrive at the final episode in this 10-part journey, we turn to a question that haunts many sincere practitioners. Why does the path of spiritual practice feel so inconsistent? Why do we progress for a while, only to suddenly fall back? Why is it that just when we feel we are touching something real, it slips away? This cycle of advance and retreat is not only common, it is universal, and few people have explored this truth more profoundly, or lived it more courageously, than the great Chan Master Zuyan. Today, we will explore his life, his struggles, and his extraordinary insights into the ups and downs of the spiritual path. Because in his story, we find not just inspiration, but answers. Not just teachings, but companionship. Let's begin by acknowledging a basic truth. No one walks a straight line to awakening. The path is winding, unpredictable, and often confusing. One day your meditation feels deep and peaceful. The next day it feels like chaos. 1 month you feel inspired, full of faith. The next you feel empty, doubtful, or even hopeless. This is not failure. This is not a sign that you're not meant for the path. This is the path. Master Zuyan understood this deeply. His life, spanning over 120 years, was filled with not only great spiritual attainment, but also immense hardship, loss, and inner struggle. And yet, instead of seeing these challenges as obstacles, he saw them as essential, as the very soil in which awakening grows. He once said, "When you are moving forward and feel yourself slipping backward, do not be discouraged. This is the sign that the mind is being refined. The fire that purifies gold does not comfort it." In other words, the discomfort, the doubt, the seeming regressions, they are part of the purification. They are part of the breaking down of ego, of expectation, of attachment to progress itself. Let's look more closely at his journey. From a young age, Zuyan was drawn to the Dharma. He gave up wealth, comfort, and family expectations to pursue monastic life, but his path was far from easy. He faced rejection, misunderstanding, and even physical assault. He spent years in solitary retreat, enduring hunger, illness, and extreme hardship. He practiced Chan meditation not as a technique, but as a life or death vow. There were times when he thought of giving up, times when the teachings seemed distant, times when his mind was filled with despair. But each time he returned, not because he was strong, but because he was committed. And in that return again and again, his mind was transformed. One of the most powerful teachings he offered was about the danger of clinging to experiences. He warned that many practitioners reach a certain level of meditative bliss or insight and then stop. They think, "I've arrived." They want to repeat the feeling, chase the light, preserve the high. But in doing so, they stop progressing. He said, "A single moment of clarity is not the end. You must continue. Let go of the good and the bad. Let go of the progress and the failure. Only then can the mind become truly still." This is the key. The path is not about chasing results. It is not about measuring progress. It is about staying with what is, no matter what it looks like. So when you feel like you're moving backward, remember this too is part of the unfolding. Think of a wave. It rises, it crashes, it recedes, and yet the ocean remains. Your practice is like that wave. Your essence is like the ocean. You are not the high, you are not the low, you are the awareness in which both arise. Zuyan also spoke often about the role of faith. Not blind belief, but faith in the process. Faith that even when nothing seems to be happening, the seeds are still growing. The roots are still deepening. He told his disciples, You may not see change, but practice is never wasted. Even a single bow, a single breath, if done with sincerity, plants merit. You cannot see the sprout until the time is right, so do not dig up the seed to check on it. Trust it. This kind of faith is what carries us through the dark nights. When the cushion feels cold, when the mantra feels empty, when the mind is a storm, it is then that faith becomes our torch. Another vital teaching from Zuyan was about humility. He saw that many practitioners struggle not because of lack of effort, but because of subtle pride. They want to be seen as wise, as advanced, as on the path, but real cultivation, he said, is invisible. It's not something you show, it's something you become. He himself, despite his attainments, lived simply. He ate sparingly, slept little, spoke with care. He did not surround himself with status or praise. He lived like a beginner, always learning, always bowing. He reminded us that the moment you think you've got it, you've already lost it. So if you feel that your practice is not progressing, ask, are you trying to impress yourself? Are you measuring your worth by your depth of meditation? By how calm you appear? If so, return. Return to breath. Return to silence. Return to not knowing. That is where real wisdom begins. Master Zuyan also taught the importance of perseverance. He said, when the mind resists, practice anyway. When the heart is tired, return anyway. Even if all you can do is one breath, one bow, do it. Because the strength of your practice is not in how long you sit, but in how sincerely you show up. And over time, something shifts. The ups and downs remain, but you are no longer shaken by them. You stop identifying with the wave. You begin to rest in the ocean. Your faith deepens, your ego softens, your joy becomes quieter, deeper, more stable. Not a joy based on feeling, but a joy based on truth. You discover that the retreat is not the enemy of progress, it is its partner. That setbacks are not signs of failure, they are invitations to go deeper. That you don't need to achieve awakening, you need only stop abandoning what's already awake. This is the essence of Master Zuyan's legacy. Not flashy teachings, not magical techniques, but the quiet, relentless return to what is real. He lived it. He taught it. And through his story, we too are reminded that the path is not easy, but it is beautiful. Because it brings us home, not to some ideal version of ourselves, but to the simple truth that right here, right now, you are enough. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be advanced. You just have to be honest. With your breath, with your mind, with your heart. That honesty is the gate. That gate is always open. All you have to do is walk through. Thank you, friends, for walking this 10-part journey with us. Thank you for your courage, your reflections, your presence. If this message touched you, please share your story in the comments. What have been your greatest struggles and breakthroughs on the path? What keeps you going when the way gets dark? And if this series has brought you value, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with others, because when we walk together, even the longest path becomes light. Until next time, keep practicing, keep returning, and remember you are never alone. Thank you for watching this video.